difficult job for Kyocha. But with that game number 1-3 going to Miracle, we're jumping into game number 4. It is going to be Sky Temple, which both MBTP teams actually prefer to play on this map. So
it's not a bad map for MVP Black at all means, but if you think about the other 3 maps, then there is very good reason for MVP Miracle choosing this map over the others. For example, I believe MVP Miracle is still winless on Towers of Doom. It's their worst map by far, so they never would want to pick that. And what about Dragonshire? Dragonshire is MVP Black's favorite map. They are undefeated in Korea in this year on that map. So it's either has to be Sky Temple or Cursed Hollow. And overall, I think going with Sky Temple was slightly better for MVP Miracle.
Yep, and also now we're into game number 4 draft. Banning Tassadar. Okay.
Somewhat unexpected, and MVP Miracle.
I think Black is just either not ban Tassadar and take it themselves. And because, especially in game number 3, Tassadar made lots of differences with the wall, the placement, the positioning was super, and oftentimes we cannot forget Miracle brings out their old favorite Vala Trinity. So just removing that out of the draft completely from the beginning, I think that's what Black is trying to do right now.
And overall, I would say on this particular map, Illidan is the #1 power pick on this map, so MVP Miracle probably trying to decide whether to ban that or Ariel or Genji. It will probably be one of the 3. Of course, if we want to be really classic about this, then they could ban out the Abathur, but that probably won't happen because Kyocha is not their flex player anymore. So the Illidan ban, as expected, comes out, and Genji pick up immediately.
Here comes Genji from Reset, and every single time we saw Reset on Genji, it was massive resets happening over and over again.
He's living true to his name.
He always does, and sometimes it scares me how good he is, and I will never be as good as Reset for sure.
Overall though, Reset on Genji, I would characterize him as a high-risk, high-reward player. He turns into that when he is on certain heroes, and Genji definitely is one of them. When he is on point, he can virtually 1v4 the entire opposition team. We saw that happen on Dragonshire against L5 in their meeting in this phase, so definitely capable of great things. But on the other hand, we saw Reset perform terribly on Genji in some matches at the mid-season brawl, so it's a pick that can go both ways, and MVP Miracle definitely expected that they would pick up the Ariel, but the Dehaka, somewhat unexpected.
Somewhat unexpected. I think it also has to do with the feedback from game number 1, 2, and 3. The fall step pressure, the global, having that global against you from the beginning of the game. Of course, having Illidan, the hunt, is good, but if you fall back too hard before 10, the game was basically done before you got to 10 in game number 2. So having the Haka, having that global, it seems very needed for Blossom. Not Blossom, where is Blossom coming out from? Miracle.
And MVP Miracle have 2 proven Dehaka players. Sniper plays a decent Dehaka, Dami as well. So still undecided who will be playing the Dehaka. But MVP Black pick up the Malthael early, so they retain their faith in Rich's abilities on this hero. The 3rd pick could be really anything though, and they decide to go with the Stitches.
Because Uther is still open, and since Auriel is taken from there, they are actually, I think they're actually trying to draw a ban card on Uther here.
So I believe that MVP Miracle, if they ban Malfurion in this case, then MVP Black will either have to ban Uther because, you know, they could take Uther and Vala in the next rotation and that would hurt them a lot, or they would, in any case. So I think the second ban Malfurion works out for them in various number of permutations.
You're against a dive comp with Genji and Malthael on the other side, so it's a really tough ban here. There are lots of supports available, so bans Mouth instead.
And as expected, so MVP Black are now left with the decision to either second ban Uther or second ban Vala, and they decide to go with Vala. Something that we have to think about is, though, MVP Miracle, they probably wanted to play Ariel, Vala, Uther, and it was expected that one of them was going to get banned out. So are they going to take away the Uther still, but have a relatively worse ranged assassin pairing? Or are they going to just let Kyocha have Uther? Personally, I could see definitely something like Uther, Ariel, Lunara happening, or Uther, Ariel, Cassia, although that seems slightly less likely. So overall, still expectable movements in the draft from both teams. We will have to see what they come up with. Nubarok is still open as well, and Genji's on the other side, so we can safely surmise that one of the picks will be in a Nubarok. So is it going to be Nubarok Uther? Yes, that is the pickup, because they don't really need to pick Lunara this early in the draft. Yes. So MVP Miracle still sticking to the correct game plan. Now MVP Black, what do they have to do? They first have to think about something that they're going to burst apart the cocoon with. So Li Ming is a possibility.
That's right.
However, Li Ming not too stellar sometimes against double support, so something they may have second thoughts on. Also, since Reset is going to be playing the Genji, most likely Sake would be forced upon the Li Ming, and he used to be a great Li Ming player, but he probably doesn't have enough practice on that right now.
If they want to go CC chain, maybe it's time for a change. Instead of Li Ming, there's also KT open, and maybe Reset will be on some other hero. Sake can also play a decent Kel'Thas. We've seen that happening a long time ago, a few times.
So we can expect one of them is going to be Rehgar, unless they want to really mix this up and go for a Brightwing. So it's Rehgar and then something, Rehgar and Falstad to answer the global pressure being put on by Dehaka. So overall, expected stuff from MVP Black and MVP Miracle so far. And last pick, it has to be a ranged assassin. Which one will it be? It could be Lunara, it could be Cassia.
Very likely. Lunara, I think we'll see a lot more Lunara. Maybe Cassia to bring in the blind. There are lots of auto attacks onto the other side. If you can blind Genji and Martial at the same time.
What do you think would be the most surprising pick here? There has
Zhou
to be something that
Zhou will be the most surprising
pick.
pick.
Oh wow. That actually makes some amount of sense,
yes,
really. Yeah.
With the double support, with the Warriors. I think the sustain can be there.
Problem is, though, Crazy Moving doesn't really like Jojin, so maybe...
That's a big problem,
yeah,
then.
That's a big problem, but could be the case.
I think if this can be the chance, I think if... Okay, they're going with the standard. Lunara will have the sustain. Will gain hope, but only when she's doing damage. When she's running away, they will get no hope from that.
So virtually a scripted draft coming out from both teams. Zero surprises on each side, but that also means that there were no mistakes made by either side. So overall, I think both sides will be happy with the draft they have gotten.
Yep, and let's go into game number 4. There's Sky Temple, and MVP Black is looking to close this series out with a 3-0. And Miracle, after they bounce back once, can they do it twice and more? Let's go into game number 4. In blue, MVP Black, Reset on Genji, Sake on Falstad, Kyocha on Rehgar, Rich on Martial, Test on Stitches.
And in red, we see MVP Miracle with Judy on Nubarok, Tommy on Dehaka, Jaehyun on Ariel, Crazy Moving on Lunara, and Sniper on Uther. Sniper flexing all across the Nexus as usual. He has played virtually every hero in the game at this point, I feel.
That's flex. And in this double support meta, Reflexes come in, and Nubarok will just borrow charge away there. An instant heal came in from Sniper too.
Dehaka